Our correspondent Jugal Purohit now joining us on the phone line with more. Jugal, this is the most indigenously built warship of the Navy. Really powerful and obviously a feather in our cap. However, there is a major drawback considering it's not yet ready for an air attack.
Well, Sanjana, essentially the situation that this ship now faces is that it does not have adequate protection as well as offensive mechanism towards incoming aerial targets. Not just that, there is also an issue with regards to the towed array sonar, which is extremely critical to detect subsurface threats, essentially threats from the submarine. But Sanjana, the fact remains that as the practice is, no ship when it is commissioned is completely ready. That's the way things are with the Navy, and as we understand, given that it's the first ship of its class, it will take almost a year more for it to incorporate and actually, be available to the Navy with all the abilities and the capabilities that the ship is supposed to possess.
Right.
So this is the way the system is. It still has a long way to go before it can be completely battle ready. So yes, there is a concern, but the Navy and the Defence Ministry are saying that before the month of October actually completes, these systems will be on board, and then for the next few months they will be tried and tested also on board.
Absolutely, Jugal. While it is certainly designed to be a nightmare for the Army, the INS Kolkata suffering from a weakness that no warship can live with. It is, as of date, unprotected against an air attack, also does not have the capability to detect submarines. Here's a report.
All set to be the fighting edge of Indian Navy's frontline fleet. The Kolkata is a tremendous warship, the pride of its makers. But there is trouble aboard that the Navy shouldn't have to live with. Like the Russian INS Vikramaditya aircraft carrier that he visited in June, the Kolkata-class destroyer that Prime Minister Modi personally welcomes into service today won't be the full deal. A troubling prospect for an Indian-built ship that will be deployed far from Indian shores to project strength. Four main issues stand revealed. Most glaringly, the brand new ship doesn't have long-range anti-air defenses, depending instead on old generation systems that render the ship more vulnerable. Second, the ship still doesn't have an active towed array sonar, its chief sensor to detect submarines in order to avoid or attack them. Third, the ship's main deck gun has been supplied by a subsidiary of Finmeccanica, a company that's all but blacklisted, throwing into question after-sales support. Finally, the Kolkata's propulsion system comes from Ukraine, a country that can't assure its political future, let alone support for exported machineries.
Talk about the delays, you have to understand that Mazgondok is building ships where it gets all the components from outside. It is the dependency on so many OEMs. Now when we say that shipbuilding has to get some indigenization product, so the price for indigenization also has to be taken into account. So here, if you see, there are many systems which were indigenized. L&T has played a major role in that. So we have now, after this, our systems are proven for the further generation ships, even the GRSC built ships or MDL built ships, it will help us a lot.
Top Indian Navy officials tell headlines today that the suboptimal configuration of the new warship is the result of technical incompetence by the Defence Research and Development Organization and procedural irregularities in the government's weapon procurement process. The Navy has no choice but to wait till the warship gets everything it's supposed to. With Jugal Purohit in Mumbai, Bureau Report, Headlines Today.